the ROX Tigers and SK Telecom T1. And here we go, looking for something maybe a little bit different from the Tigers this time around. They're going to ban out the Zillion first thing.
Well, I guess it's come to that level.
Guess so.
They did ban out the Azir, but again, in their last matchup, they did play the LeBlanc into the Azir, and they tried to play the priority, the faster roams that allows.
Yeah, ROX Tigers definitely looked for lane pressure on the blue side. They gave Faker Azir in an early round, could just pick up the LeBlanc, knew that they would have lane pressure, and then the second game, as you mentioned on blue, just blind picked the LeBlanc, knowing there was few champions with Lissandra and Lulu out of the pool that could provide lane pressure. So ROX Tigers, we want to see initiators. This team, famous, they innovated 5 people that can initiate. Ashe, for example, from the AD carry role, then champions like Lissandra. Lane pressure is what I want to see from ROX, and just, again, multiple initiations, lots of teleport flankings. That's the game style ROX innovated.
So SK Telecom taking a long time on that third ban, and they finally decided to go with Kindred, and that's going to lead to an Echo first pick for ROX Tigers. SK Telecom has got to have a way to respond to this.
Well, the problem for the ROX Tigers is that there isn't another pick they can first pick, except for the Echo when it's up. Not only because Echo's very strong, because it's a flex pick for SK Telecom, and when you can play it AP in the mid lane. Of course, Kuro was one of the actually early innovators when Echo was released of AP Echo.
True.
But you don't give it away to SKT right now. They showed in their final match against KT that Faker can do very scary things on that champion, but it does give up the Graves, and I'm surprised to see SK Telecom take the Azir so early. Kuro has a very poor record historically on Azir.
Well, on red side, you got to wonder what that early first pick mid laner means. You know, what are they hiding?
Well, let's talk about top lane picks against the Echo, because we're heavily expecting it to be top lane Echo from Smeb. It looks wonderful on the champion. The big pick, and one of the champions that was banned by Jinair against SKT a lot, was the Fiora, and that's a champion that Duke played excellently before the nerfs. We're on 6.6, so the nerfs have gone through onto the Fiora. It'll be super interesting to see whether we do see this aggressive choice against the Echo, or maybe a Poppy that's being hovered now, just as more of a team comp pick rather than a laning matchup.
Yeah, so Elise Alistar locked into the ROX Tigers over on the SK Telecom side, going for the Poppy. What's the next pick going to be? Duke so devastating on that Poppy in game number 1. They're going to go with the Lucian for Bang, so not switching a whole lot up.
SK Telecom have shown both their solo lanes, their AD carry. It's only support as a last pick, something like a Tom Kench might come through. ROX already aren't going to have triple AD carry. This is looking much more like their pick early game focus comps they were playing at the start of the season, the sort of comp they would snowball and never look like they would ever look backwards. So the question is, you know, waiting to see the last solo laner and the AD carry pick. Are we going to see something spicy? It's just going to be the Ashe, which has probably been a powerful pick, but Prey once again hovering the Ezreal.
I really find this Ezreal surprising in this particular series. The Corki not so much, but they're going to be going for a little bit of a better initiation this time, more pick potential, but they've got to hit their power spike properly in this game. They will be looking to lane swap, and interestingly, they don't take some of the picks they've shown into the Azir. They don't take the LeBlanc. They don't take the Jarvan, which we thought might come out yet again. They won against Jinair playing the mid lane Jarvan. He can jump over the Emperor's Divide.
And it's interesting that going for double AD in the last round with Braum available, one of the best champions in the gate, specifically the Ezreal ultimate, but again, a lot of the poke coming through from the Corki. A very strong answer as a last pick. You don't think of last pick support as really influencing the draft, but it is great in this spot.
Right, and I think that it is the better pick in this composition, because one of the flaws with SKT's comp in the last game was if it went late, if their TP was down, or if their TP couldn't get into the poke line, well, it was pretty much over for SKT. Like they had to win in the mid game, or else they were going to fall super far behind. Yeah. Now the Braum is going to give them more immunity to that poke. They've got a huge front line this time with the Azir ultimate, the Braum, and the Poppy, so they're going to be able to kind of do it all. They've got good engage this time around, and we know how Faker plays on this Azir. He plays it like a pick champion. He will just 1v1 you.
So to get through this game, ROX Tigers lane pressure in top and mid. It's still an Ezreal lane. We're expecting Gorilla to start the roams, impact the other lanes. Corki, Echo especially, have excellent lane pressure in their matchups, and we have one of the strongest ganking junglers in Elise. Again, it's all about influencing those solo lanes and just having Ezreal pick up the farm and slowly get to relevance with his 2-item spike.
And that's it. There were 3 choices they could have made here. You either go for, well actually there are 4 choices in the mid lane, it's very curious. You go for the roaming pressure on LeBlanc.
Sure.
You go for the kill pressure with the Jarvan. right? Or you go for the losing lane but TP pressure with Lysandra, or you try and poke him with the Corki. Corki's the pick.
That's right, it's time. Game number 2. Can the ROX Tigers tie it up? Let's find out. It's time to get in the game. We're high on esports passion. That's what they mean in that song, Monte Cristo, Papa Smithy.
I thought they were high because they were on top of that building on the helicopter pad.
That's another reason they're high. You're right.
I'm just happy I changed my tie today, guys.
They're high for multiple reasons. SK Telecom
No,
taking on the
only
ROX
those
Tigers.
reasons.
Only those reasons, and no other reasons, of course. Of course, man.
No bard in this game, you know.
That's right.
No magical journeys.
420 was a couple days ago already. Come on. So, ROX Tigers on the blue side, SK Telecom over on the red side this time. Gorilla took a stake out of him already.
Well, they're going to want a lane swap again. And
I would think so.
SK Telecom. So switching it up, Peanut has that kill pressure now. They have that ability to dive some of these turrets and arguably the greater mobility out of the mid lane, and Bang just staring Gorilla down once again, and looks like they're going to follow them up to that top side. They see them on the ward, so no recall coming through for ROX, and they're going to get the standard lanes. Excellent for SKT.
Yeah, it's exactly what they want. Prey just poking a little bit with that Mystic shot. And already a better start for ROX Tigers. They didn't lose any summoners at level 1. So things are going well.
The bar was set pretty low.
Things are going well.
We're talking about, can they get a turret? Can they pick up a neutral? That's all they have to do to level up.
You're right, you're right. We have to look at the positives. That's exactly right. It can't be much worse than last game for the ROX Tigers. And you'd have to expect something a little bit different. They certainly don't seem to be too worried when we saw them in the booth, and it is a best of 5. They've got time to turn this one around. They won a game at Worlds, and this ROX Tigers team is stronger, I would say, arguably, than the team we saw at Worlds.
Very different jungle matchup this time in Elise versus Graves. Graves, once again, a farming jungler. No real CC to speak of. It's strong CC in the lanes to have any kill pressure, and honestly, it's behooved to just stay in the jungle and farm up. He's an excellent mid to late game team fighter. Elise has that initiation CC, has CC specifically in the duo lane, and it's going to be, once again, on Peanut to find the better roams, the better pathing, because the Kindred play from Blank was out of this world, and it's on Peanut, again, with the tools, with the Elise, with a champion that can do it, to influence the early game, much like Peanut did in game, but much like Blank in game 1.
Yeah, he doesn't have to babysit the summonerless lane anymore. The Rift is his oyster, as it were. Much different scenario.
The Rift Oyster. No, they haven't announced that yet for the mid-season changes, Monty.
Again, Monty.
Oh no, Riot's going to be so mad. Why did you reveal that on stream right now at the finals? I can't believe you did that.
It gives the Rift Pearl buff.
The Rift Oyster, that's right. Who gets to have the Rift Pearl? It fills up a spot in your inventory. But don't worry, eventually it'll wear out. Spoiler alert.
And once you get 5 Rift Pearls, you get the Black Pearl.
There you go. That's right.
Interesting to track what ROX Tigers do in a normal game after the first purchase, because again, we've seen so much of them swapping Prey into an empty lane. There was actually a Freak of Freaks that were once again going standard, then swapping up. So will we just see a return to 2v2 laning with an Ezreal with Tia, or do the ROX Tigers have a different plan? Because playing around Ezreal's early game wasn't a luxury they had in game 1 because they were so far behind across the map.
Yeah, it's a pretty passive start for both teams right now. Not a lot of action going across the lanes at the moment. Just Blank and the Grump. That's about it. The Blank and the Grump. That sounds like a children's
I was going to say,
tale,
that does sound like a children's story.
Right. I think so.
That could be your next project.
I'll make a children's book. Blank and the Grump. It doesn't end well for the Grump, though. Spoiler alert there again.
It teaches children about death.
That's right. It's like the Grump deserved to die, kids. By virtue of the buff it gave it. I don't know if this is a message we want to teach kids.
That's what we do to the natural world, Noah. We take from it mercilessly.
Subjugated, just like the Rift Scuttler's getting subjugated by Peanut right now. Give us your vision, Rift Scuttler.
Peanut spotted on a ward, so Faker able to just push up to mid. Laning phase going fine for Faker in mid.
Yeah.
Well, that's been a big question coming into this series, was Faker's over-aggressive play in the laning phase in the past few weeks, because he's had some rather silly deaths in the mid lane by making questionable decisions when it comes to skirmishes and all-ins, and he's given up his fair share of first bloods, but the aggression has been much more calculated in this game, and it's time for a pause.
It's pause time. And it's Wolf's fault. What did you do? Did you kick the Ethernet cord, Wolf?
Well, he's Wolf, so he has pause.
It's hard to play League of Legends with pause. It's true.
And yet, look at Wolf.
He needs it. Wow. He needs a special keyboard. You've got claws, of course.
He definitely has claws.
He does. I just noticed that. Man, I had no idea. That Wolf has claws, man.
He's role-playing right now.
I guess so. He's kind of like a method actor for his own game ID, I guess. That's right. Thankfully, he doesn't have one of those really tacky, belt attachment tails that you see. Some certain individuals.
Or
wear
like a wolf-shaped hat that he wears.
That's right, with little ears on it. Thankfully, he's not that far. He doesn't attend certain conventions for other people that may be enthusiastic about that type of apparel.
He still actually communicates via Korean language as opposed to a rough series of growls.
That's right. You see him howling at the moon sometimes. That's the reason why they had to shoot on top of that building, is that he was already up there howling at the moon. And they were like, well, we can't get Wolf to come off the roof of this really huge building, so let's just go film the
rolled with it
outro.
so well, though.
They did. They even got him to stand up and stop howling for just a second or two. The story of Wolf, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Now you know more about him than you ever wanted to know. Gorilla's chewing gum, but he might be out soon.
So, I mean, Game 1 again showed ROX Tigers pivot away from some of their tendencies in a disappointing fashion. And, I mean, the early game kind of threw out the game plan out the window. Interesting to see that Peanut once again goes for the tracker's knife this game. We highlighted in the pregame that he'd always gone for the aggressive enchant and forced fights, but more wards clearly on the menu, at least in Game 2.
Well, he's been doing a little bit more of that lately.
Yeah, it has changed over the course of the season, but yes, he still only picks up that tracker's knife, 30% of the time or so, compared to 90% for Blank, but we highlighted those statistics.
Yeah.
Of course, Blank #1 and Wartsman is a jungler. Peanut dead last, baby.
It's great, though. It's great. I mean, it's awesome seeing such different takes on a role come into the finals here. Faker doesn't care about any of that, though. He's just going to crush you. That's what Faker does. Well, sometimes he turns to the left and talks to people, too. But mostly crushes people. And so we'll see if Wolf can get his computer up and running again. The OGN wizards can make this marvel of technology operate. I wonder. Take a nap, Blank. Take a battle nap. You deserved it.
Now this game, though, I do have to admit a bit of surprise that ROX decided to go for the Ezreal Corki combination again. They, of course, have a lot of options. If they're not going to play a poke composition, they can play something like Lissandra Callista. Obviously, that gives a very hard laning phase to Kuro in the mid lane. But as long as you can play around the teleport okay, you're going to have that diving advantage. It just gives you so much engage. So I have to say I'm a bit surprised about that. But, of course, they are going to have a stronger front line. And running Lissandra, Elise, Callista may leave you with a little bit of a lack of damage in the late game. It really would be hard, I think, for Prey to carry that game by himself if you don't get enough of a dive lead, a kill lead, a turret lead in the earlier parts.
You know what's kind of funny is that it seems like Bengi just isn't allowed to play in spring finals anymore, you know? We saw Tom play all 3 games last year when SK Telecom beat the ROX Tigers. Now this year, obviously, Bengi's been on the bench for a while now, but missing out on another spring finals.
Well, Bengi just hibernates until summer, right?
He does.
He's just waiting
for
the meta to change, Doa.
That's
he
right.
just wants to play Nunu again.
We're kind of in a catch-22 here because the rule is either SK Telecom will beat you with your sub-jungler, but wouldn't that mean they have to play Bengi at this point instead of Blank? Because Blank's the main jungler now.
Yeah, he definitely has been for the latter half of this season.
Oh, he's really had a huge improvement after IEM. It's been fun to see this guy come up in the jungle scene here in Korea.
And they went from Blank and Bengi competing for that spot to Blank very much being the starter, IEM onwards.
Right.
And you can only speculate that Bengi and his experience as a double world champion must have helped Blank form, because even when he came back from IEM,
we saw
looked
that video.
shaky in the first couple of weeks of Champions, but has matured in his playoff performance. And again, his Game 1 performance has shown that he is adaptable. He isn't just a farming jungler. We would have called him a farming jungler, except he was all over the map in Game 1. And seeing a young player develop in, you know, a place like SKT with so many hands, deft hands, double world champions to help them, it's great to see him rise up.
Well, Blank has such a cool story, too, because he came from sort of a rural community in Korea, just kind of playing League of Legends from home by himself, made it to like the top of solo queue that way, got noticed. SK Telecom picks him up. Within a month, he's flying to Poland for the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships in Katowice. And he wins that, and now here he is in the finals of Champion Spring. I mean, this guy has had a wild ride to get where he is.
Well, he even started before that, the LSPL.
Yeah, I cast him in the LPL. He actually subbed in for Insec when he famously jumped off a structure in a stadium and broke his leg.
That's right.
So he was playing very young. I believe he was just turned 17 when he was playing for Starhorn Royal Club. So he's definitely been through the pro system before, but the infrastructure in China with some of these new orgs compared to SKT with their nurturing is clearly on display, because he looks a completely different player.
Yep. And it's so good to see Prey still playing. Good old Dodoria. We haven't seen the Scouter, though, today. Not yet.
Yeah, that's
we're
what
seeing
happens.
Ezreal, but we're not seeing the Scouter.
Prey actually also not playing Pulsefire Ezreal, which is actually really unusual for him.
That's a good point. I didn't even realize that until right now. Huh. He's all business. There's no room for silly Pulsefire Ezreal in the Champion Spring Finals. Looks like we're back in game, though, now, guys. Hopefully that's the last pause we'll have to fill tonight.
Deep wards spot out Elise, and Peanut once again fairly anonymous in the first 6 minutes. Maybe the meta shifts have changed things, but of course the first half of the season was so often bullying enemy junglers. That's how he gained that reputation as the battle ward.
Right.
Did go for, again, not only the tracker sniper, but the early pink ward this game, so quite different. Looks like just a volatile spiderling to go ahead and send Kuro home, prevent Faker from getting any free shots down onto the turret.
Yeah.
Oh,
gonna get the stun? Not quite. A lot of pressure on Smeb and Duke this game. They are the only members of their teams with teleport, so those TP advantages mean a whole lot. And of course, after game number 1, ROX Tigers really needed Smeb to kind of step up and be that carry this game.
well, this lane matchup's going to get interesting because Smeb actually went Sheen first here, while Duke went Cowl. So the mixed damage coming in does make it difficult for Duke to itemize early.
Right.
And you'll see Duke just using that steadfast presence to prevent the phase dive trades. And it's those Sheen procs at melee range that are really going to hurt him with his current itemization. So he's going to have to play pretty passively for a little bit.
Oh, Peanut goes for the cocoon, doesn't quite land it on the flank.
But he does win the pink ward battle, Doa.
He does. He got the pink ward. And that counts for, well, 1 pink ward, but his pride too, man. Peanut trying to harass Blanket, it's blue buff now. Not gonna, nope, Faker there, not much Peanut can do.
You see ROX Tigers extending the lane phase in top. There's 2 schools of thought with the Ezreal, one of which is to, you see some trades.
Yeah, a little bit. Wolf blocking some damage coming in from Praying Gorilla. Gorilla taking a lot.
See some itemization from Smeb, gone back and bought an early Dark Seal, which is an interesting purchase.
Yeah, that's right.
We do see it on a lot of these echoes, especially with the Corrupting Potion. This is a very lane-dominant build where you can trade very effectively and get that extra healing off the potion.
Makes sense.
And also, he just went ahead and utilized his ultimate to get right back into lane there. So this is Smeb going hard this game. It's a lot different than the matchup in the last one.
So you ult back into lane just because you want to be able to keep the minions exactly where you want. You want to get the best possible minion break, push them into the enemy turret, ensure the lane is equalized when you can come out. And again, talking a bit about the Ezreal, you might want to extend the lane because Ezreal only gets weaker when the enemy itemization beats him out. Tia versus a BF sword, for example. If you just stay in lane clearing, there is, you delay first your Tia, which is of course unfortunate from Prey's side, but you delay the time when Lucian will have a lot of 2v2 pressure.
Bug
There it is!
Finals Bug Splat!
We love Bug Splash.
Oh yeah, oh we're back in. Look at that redundant observers. We were ready today.
It's
No,
the
never
blank,
mind.
It's Blankovision.
It's blank vision.
Oh, it is blank vision.
You think it means that we couldn't see anything because it's blank vision, but no, now we're seeing what blank sees. All right, a look, a glimpse into the mind, into the actions of SK Telecom's newest, hottest jungler, Blank.
You see right there, what he's doing is actually a lot of pro junglers do this, is use the F keys to bounce around the map and very quickly check the lanes.
It's a good idea.
So we are going to switch over to
There we go.
Peanut Can.
Yep. Now it's time for Peanut Can.
And that's actually one of the most
Now it's our observer.
micro-intensive parts of being a professional jungler. But if you guys really want to get good at the jungle, you definitely want to start using those F keys, rearranging people in the score screen. And that way you always know where your F keys are going to go, to which role.
Yeah.
And then you can keep tabs on everybody else while you're doing that boring thing where you walk back to lane or walk back to your jungle.
Be the babysitter. There you go. Peanut comes in onto Duke. It's a 2v1. Smeb a little bit low, but Duke in big trouble. Gets a two-man knockup. Flashes away with the W. Can they catch him? Can they get first blood? They're diving for it. Duke, no, they can't quite get him. Peanut takes some turret hits, and Duke makes it out. Uh-oh, here comes Blank. They see him with the ward, though, so ROX Tigers going to be able to escape this one.
And Blank intelligently not going in. Had they overcommitted just a little bit more, it may have been possible, but Faker was not in the mid lane at the time. Kuro already on the roam. They got away from that situation, and that's all you could ask for.
And that was also Blank respecting the fact that Corky had just picked up the package for the first time, well, after 8 minutes in the game, so it spawned, was able to respond.
Hello.
Wow, Smeb going in onto Bang. A little bit of trouble there. Bang could go down. He does. Smeb picks up the first blood off of that teleport. Here comes Gorilla onto Wolf, though. He's on his own. No AD carry to help him. Here comes Blank. I don't know. Okay, they've got Faker there, too. He's okay.
So let's talk about that play. They saw Duke TP back into the bottom side after they had poked him out.
Right.
Instantaneous decision by Smeb. Bray had just gotten back into lane with the Sheen. 2 Sheens in that lane. Great teleport play. Excellently done by the ROX Tigers.
This is what teams are doing. They're delaying the first back from the AD carries, and they're making a play instantly after the first shot. Shop came in from Ezreal. Smeb in the top lane. They also effectively lane swap because they're going to push the top turret. And laning phase suddenly ends completely off the back of an excellent decisive call from ROX.
And that's what's so good about League of Legends at this level. You can see SK Telecom right now going back, taking the Dragon. They know they committed to top side. Peanut was down in bottom protecting the turret. But how fast these teams can make these decisions. All right, so we failed in that bottom side. As soon as they see the teleport, everybody had already recalled. Prey was in position, and they just pulled the trigger immediately on the gank. And now we have an early lead for the ROX Tigers, but SK Telecom at least trading objectives for it.
And this is big also for Smeb particularly, because one of the biggest powers of this top lane tank Echo is chase power and kill pressure in an extended lane when turrets are down. He has a defensive turret, a top turret to farm under, and if ever there's multiple members in top, Echo will chase you down and kill you, especially with Iceborne Gauntlet and the Swiftness Boots Rush, so the kill pressure onto Duke. Duke has to be so careful if he ever extends up top lane.
Yeah, very true. Bang and Wolf trying to put some pressure on the bot lane now, trying to push back a bit after losing that early kill over the ROX Tigers. And what a great start for Smeb, too. That's exactly what they need him to do on that Echo. Get the early kills, get big, be a carry. Faker, though, pressuring that mid lane, pokes Kuro out.
This is what Faker does.
Yeah.
This mid lane just constantly chunking you out. They're going to take that Rim Herald.
I see a contest here.
Maybe. Here comes Blank. Duke coming from the top. Peanut and Smeb on the run. Faker is there, though. Nice knockup from Duke. Peanut in trouble, trying to back away. Looks like they're going to make it out with the Cocoon. SK Telecom not wanting to take that Rift Herald. A little bit too dangerous to go for that. Content with just having it reset.
Yeah, that was dangerous, especially because Kuro had already recalled. So
yeah,
had a man advantage in this top side of the map. Of course, no TP onto the Corki, so no way to really effectively respond to that aggression. And ROX Tigers escaped, but they are penalized with a flash.
That's right.
Happy to keep the 2v2 laning going in bottom. First shot, Manamoon into Sheen. just charging that up in the 2v2. That's why they don't really want to go for the turret trades, because if you go these dual turret trades, suddenly you have both Corki and Ezreal looking for a short lane to farm in.
Meanwhile, battle over the pink boards up in top. Smeb's going to win that one.
Now, Peanut just waiting in the top side to see if they were going to overcommit to that defense, but they don't.
Yeah, still waiting.
Duke wisely backs off. Didn't know Peanut was there in the top side.
SKT's been trying to play this as carefully as they've been able to. They've lost 1 kill already, so looks like we're going to see a really passive play from SK Telecom.
But by denying that vision, they deny Duke's ability to farm, so
yeah,
perhaps Smeb will start to acquire a pressure or farm advantage in that top side. As a result, Kuro is doing his blue buff all by his lonesome.
The game plan here is for Smeb to create as much pressure. He can overextend because Echo is so slippery. Already has plenty of cooldown reduction and movement speed to overextend in top. And just extend the laning phase till we see 2 items on the Ezreal. And then all the options are open to ROX Tigers. The playbook will be wide open.
Thought they could maybe collapse on the Peanut there, and they may be able to after all. There's Repel. Where's he going to go? Tries to go out the back way. Doesn't make it out. Bromelt helps Faker secure that one. SK Telecom strikes back with their first pick of the game.
And they thought they would be able to collapse onto Wolf right there, but remember, Peanut already used his flash. They couldn't make much of it. Now Faker double buffed in the mid lane. Blank there, just covering his support's retreat out of the enemy jungle.
Could be a problem for Kuro, that's for sure. Oh, interrupted, Bang in trouble, true shot Brown, blocked by Wolf though, nice reaction. He knew that was coming in. That could have been really bad for Bang if Wolf hadn't been there with the shield.
And you just see SKT rewarded for leaving support for last pick. ROX Tigers, first 3 picks, Echo, Elise, Alistar. Could be a pick comp, could basically pivot in any direction. They only committed to the double AD in the last round, and SKT, so rarely are you rewarded for leaving support for last pick, but they saw the ambiguity, they left themselves the option, and the Brom pick in full display.
Yeah, that's right. Now trying to collapse onto Duke as W fades, Cocoon misses. Duke loading up that ultimate, gonna try to knock Smeb away, knocks Peanut away instead, so it's just Smeb versus Duke, and is that enough damage? A flash, no turret for Duke to protect him, gonna try to push Smeb back. Smeb chasing it so hard to get away from this Echo now. Duke's still alive for the moment. Faker comes in with the Emperor's Divine. It's not enough though, and Smeb trying to get away. You're not escaping from this one, buddy. Turret helps pick up the kill. I don't know, Smeb can't get the execute. There we go, Faker picks that one up in the end via the turret.
But look what you get here. Kuro's going to get lane pressure. Faker, of course, didn't have teleport. Used both summoners. Unsuccessful in keeping alive his allies. So really good play from ROX Tigers.
Right. 1 for 1, but the pressure advantage definitely over to ROX. But every time we've seen ROX strike, SKT at least gets something back for it. And it was a near save. Faker came in with the summoner heal and nearly made that work. Nearly got Duke out of that bind.
Very, very close.
It's the ROX Tigers you see so often. It's not Smeb emergency lurking around a losing mid, a losing bot lane. It's Smeb with lane and kill pressure of his own, and now SKT have to continue to react to the top lane because the matchup's only going to get better for Smeb.
Yeah. The ROX Tigers zeroing in on that bot lane. They're going to maybe die, but no, Wolf and Bang backing away. They've got Blank there too, but I don't know if they can save this bottom turret. Nope. Looks like it's gone.
And they don't care. They're just creating a zone right now. There is no pressure in the mid and the top side, so ROX is able to commit 3 members all the way down to the bottom lane, pick up yet another turret.
Very smooth.
And this has been the ROX Tigers we're used to. Really pressing forward in these lanes, playing around the side minion waves to either threaten dives and take an objective, or just take the dive itself, get kills and those objectives. They have really been excellent at that, and here we go.
Faker could be in trouble going over the wall to try to escape. Kuro may chase. Blank is right there, though. They're going to flash. Peanut goes in. Flash Cocoon. Faker pushing people back with the Emperor's Divide. Blank ults with that Graves. That's going to push the ROX Tigers away for the moment. Oh! 2-shot barrage. Not quite a direct hit.
Looking for this one, not going to find it with the parallel convergence.
But this is all a bonus, Monty. Look at the lane pressure. They just got bottom turret. They can all rotate to mid. Faker's chunked out. Blank's chunked out. That's 3 outer turrets instantly down for ROX.
And this is more like we expected from the ROX Tigers coming into this one. They've got a tiny lead. SK Telecom again in the position where they need to respond.
It's crazy how game 2 so echoes our thoughts. just thinking about this series, ROX Tigers with lane pressure for Smeb will look like a completely different team than when Smeb is held down. He was so well held down by Blank in game 1.
SKT not too far behind in gold, especially with the 3 turrets for 0, but these item power spikes coming in from the ROX Tigers, the triple sheens that they've managed to acquire make them quite bursty here in the mid game. However, SK Telecom going to get another Dragon uncontested as ROX had to recall after taking that turret. They will trade it up for a Rift Herald.
Yep, SKT going up to 2 Dragons. ROX Tigers going to get a little bit more lane pressure power with this Rift Herald buff. SK Telecom, though, looks like they're in position to take their first turret of the game. Maybe.
Prey's going to be there. Prey does not have True Shot Barrage.
Yeah, Gorilla there as well. And they're just trying to poke away at it. Gorilla with the big pulverize. True Shot Barrage. Nice block from Wolf. Great reaction. That will be turret number 1 for SK Telecom. Brawl used after the slow into Gorilla. They're going to get the stun. Gorilla with the ultimate. He's so tanky. Teleports coming in for SK Telecom. Will we see a fight? Nope. Everybody backing off for the moment.
Up 2 cancels.
Yep, that's right.
On
Duke
that
just
one.
going to red buff instead.
With those teleports being cancelled, the advantage extends for ROX. Already Smeb has lane pressure. The only way that anyone can react is people without teleport. Faker, for example, like in the last situation. So ROX still have the aggressive advantage, even though both teleports are down.
Yeah, the big key difference this time is Prey has been relatively unhindered.
He's got his items at 20 minutes, so that's a good spot.
Yeah,
on his Ezreal early, and going into the late game, the poke is going to be pretty brutal from SK Telecom. They're going to need to be able to flank with this Poppy to engage, or take the risk of the Azir going in first, which isn't so easy these days.
Not really. Faker and Coco, though, the ones definitely best at it. Smeb takes the Duke ultimate. He'll just back off, though. No real danger. Duke just trying to push him out of lane for the moment.
Didn't have to trade ult for ult, though, so still a healthy little win there for Smeb. Kuro and the rest of the ROX Tigers looking like they're going to be hitting a much more even power spike this game once Prey gets that Muramana up and we start seeing them trend towards 3 or 4 items where their poke really starts to get scary.
Really different build from Peanut. We usually see him go full AP with Rylai's second. No sign of Rylai's this game.
Yeah, tanky leads. SK Telecom, though, finds an opening to grab that mid lane turret. Whoa, what happened there?
Coming.
I guess so. ROX Tigers going to try to fight this. Here comes Gorilla. Peanut didn't connect with the Cocoon, but Smeb on to Bang immediately. Bang flashes, Smeb pursuing. Meanwhile, the ROX Tigers come in from behind. Bang going to turn around with a culling. Unloaded the ROX Tigers, but Prey there with the damage on the Ezreal. Flashes back over the wall, and there's a kill for the ROX Tigers onto Wolf. They're going to keep chasing. Faker bending around the corner there. And Blank somehow escaping from that fight. ROX Tigers, though, getting the win.
Yeah, they can't. Are they thinking about Baron
They are
right
thinking
now?
about it, Monty.
That is an early Baron.
Triple Sheen items. They have a lot of Baron damage.
It's going to be a lot of damage, but SK Telecom is still healthy. They don't have Wolf, but everybody else except for Bang is there. They're going to go for it. Baker looking to make a big play. Duke going in with the W. Can they steal it? No! ROX Tigers gets it, and they're going to get Duke too.
What a great knowledge of their limits. They knew all of the ultimates were on cooldown right there from SKT. There wasn't a chance to do enough damage to contest as fast as they could take that Baron. They took a look at the mid lane. They realized the minion wave was just not there, but they could do the Baron instead. Watch Smeb's ult right here, by the way.
But this is ROX Tigers playing at their best. They came into that fight from every flank. How often have we seen this? We remember Gorilla's cannon and flank missions in previous seasons. They get the 1 kill. Then you again look at the items. They hit their timings on time this game. Double Iceborne Gauntlet and Trinity Force. 21-minute Baron. Definitely not a bridge too far. Bang completely out of the fight. They knew how much damage they'd taken. The ults were down and how much they could put out. Well calculated and a big advantage to ROX.
Yeah, ROX Tigers now with about 2,000 gold lead. They've got that Baron buff now. How much can they get with it?
But it's worse than that, Doa, because they're on this double 80 carry, this poke composition, and they have a split push advantage with Smeb's Echo, and they have the Baron buff. So it's going to be really difficult for SK Telecom to stop their inner ring of turrets from going down.
The only person with true wave clear is going to be the Lucian. Azir now, the matching resist on the minions makes it very difficult for him to push out lanes. The pressure is so high.
Faker going for a play. He gets Prey. Oh, he gets the kill. Bang picks it up. Nice engage from Faker.
And
Meanwhile,
how many times have we seen this from Faker's Azir this season?
Yeah.
How many times have we seen it? He got praised several times the last time they played, actually. So he's got to be careful.
Smeb trying to escape. Gorilla Peanut right there too. Faker half health. Hard to participate in the fight. Nice pick onto Blank. He survives somehow. Nice Braum ultimate from Wolf. Comes in. SKT trying to turn around. Smeb re-engages with his ultimate. There's a kill onto Bang. Meanwhile, Echo does go down. ROX Tigers backing off, and they are in a bad spot. Faker with the kill there, and now it's trying to go spider hunting. Peanut trying to escape, but there's Duke slamming him against the wall. Wolf with the Q, and that spider, they flash. They get the flash from Wolf in return. Peanut trying to get away. Duke, dodge, doesn't matter. A kill for SKT. Peanut laughing that one off, man. He gave it his best shot, but that's no laughing matter for the team as a whole. SKT looking good now. That was against the Baron buff.
And that was all Faker with the solo play to get a pick, and ROX didn't need to do any of this. They could have gone in different directions, backed away. 4v5 at the best of times, completely unnecessary.
We saw this too. They took that unnecessary fight in game number 1. They're looking like they're over-committing just a little bit to some of these skirmishes when they don't have their items, or in a 4v5. They thought they could do something because Faker's ultimate was down, that Blank would not be as protected, and he escaped with just a tiny amount of health. But again, going back to the last time these two teams faced, we saw Prey sort of getting caught out against the Azir. And the reality is, when you are playing against Faker's Azir, you cannot be alone next to him, because he will kill you. He creates picks by himself, and he's been doing that all season.
Oh yeah. Funny seeing Blank come in at the end of that fight just to auto Gorilla once to get that assist. SKT going for the third dragon.
Telecom coming
ROX
in.
Tigers want to fight it. That's right. Smeb coming from behind. Dragon taken by SKT, trying to disengage. Nice pulverize. Comes in from Gorilla. Echo with the first kill already. SKT, can they turn it around? Over the wall comes Smeb onto Blank, trying to pick up that kill onto the Graves. It's a 1v1 on the right side. Duke a little bit low. Gorilla comes in, helps and pick that one up. Prey with one. And now SKT in trouble. Smeb ults away though. And Blank, how does he live? Sub 50 health again.
He was so bold right there. He even took an auto attack right on the edge of the parallel convergence right there, right after he escaped. I was so surprised he actually decided to take that. Let's take a look at this fight though.
You see the power of a team with all this. Power spikes being hit, the early items being spiked. This is a true 5v5. We saw the 4v5. This is the reality of the 5v5. Even with an excellent use of the Unbreakable, there's nothing that Braum can do. And the chase is true from Smeb on the one side. Thought he would get the kill, but the tankiness from the more Malmortius enough. But it's on the left side, where again, you're seeing both damage dealers, Bang and Blank, focus on one member, almost get the result. That's the reality of the tank Echo.
Beautiful kiting by Blank right there. Excellent mechanics.
Blank is looking so good today overall. Really good 2 games. Gorilla a little bit in trouble here. Nice damage from Kuro coming in, man.
They lose the fight, but they keep their turret up, and the hope of the 5th dragon is still alive. So, I mean, you take a look at how this game is unfolding. That Baron didn't get them a whole lot, only a 3K advantage because they overcommitted.
But think of what the Baron would have got them if not for Faker's solo play on killing Ezreal. That would have, a different team would have just backed away for a minute, pushed up their lanes, and come back with the respawned Ezreal. ROX got over aggressive. More gold went over to SKT. And there should never be only a 3,000 gold lead. When we saw when the Baron buff was working as intended, Corki free took a turret in a turret in bot. Ezreal was pushing up in mid. That should have been the game-winning Baron power play, but it was denied solely from Faker.
Yeah, absolutely beautifully done. I do have to say that I do think that the itemization that we're seeing here from the Elise is quite good, because it's not a peanut itemization, but when you have 3 champions that are affected by attack speed, like SK Telecom have, getting that Randuin's into the back line can prove absolutely crucial, and you can repel over the Azir ult to do it.
And Duke getting the bot lane tier 2. SK Telecom, they were picking that top brush as well. They knew Smeb was there. Looks like ROX Tigers going to respond to the tier 2 of their own in the mid lane. Turret's traded, but look at this. Duke doing a lot of damage to this bot lane inhibitor turret, and he's the one with the teleport. Smeb doesn't have it.
That's why they couldn't really answer right there as long as they wanted to put the pressure down. Still a favorable trade for SKT from behind.
Yeah, looking good.
Very powerful as a 5-man unit, but they didn't have the flexibility to send Smeb poppy hunting in an extended lane, just chase her down and do damage. So the result was just a trade of turrets.
The thing to consider here, too, is that SK Telecom is sitting on 3 dragons to 0 right now. And if they can continue somehow picking those up, that's going to be something that ROX Tigers need to be really worried about in the late game.
Absolutely. This next dragon is going to be quite crucial.
Oh, yeah. SK Telecom is trying to play it safe for the moment. Gorilla positioning, posturing to look scary. Doesn't take much. He's on Alistar.
Faker's sending in a ward. He thinks he's in a position to make another tricky Azir sec play. Teleport coming in.
That's right. Here comes Smeb. Bang could be in trouble. Parallel convergence gets a couple stuns. The package has been delivered. Girl backing away immediately, though. Faker with the Emperor's Divide off and on his own, a little bit trapped. And SKT losing this fight handily. They were ready for Faker. They were ready for Wolf. And now ROX Tigers, they're going to go for this Baron again.
Faker's still in base. They're looking to peel up. No vision.
Duke completely caught in the 1v5. And now that's going to make that Baron a whole lot safer.
They're coming off of this one. Duke already having used his teleport, and Smeb just got the drop on them right there, set up that parallel convergence to the phase down. He did only catch Wolf out with the stun, but that was enough.
And the ward coverage from ROX Tigers was atypical. They had an excellent ward spotting out Faker and the deepest of wards for the flank play from Smed. Beautiful to see, and they rewarded with a second Baron. This time, they need to respect Faker and otherwise push up their lanes, because this is the Baron buff where they expect, at minimum, an inhibitor down.
Well,
that's what they're hoping.
You need to keep the Ezreal and the Corki together this time. That was the big mistake. If you want to split with this, split 4-1. Don't split 1-3-1. That is a mistake. I honestly thought they would have learned that the last time they played against SK Telecom, because this exact situation happened with Prem.
Well, they maybe just wanted to try it out. They're like, oh, yep, we still lose. So I guess we should change it.
Faker can still make game-changing plays one-on-one with this Azir. All right?
Gotta be careful.
And itemization, staying true. We talked about the power of Randuin's against specifically the Azir and then the double AD on the side of SKT. Now we see Smeb joining in as well. Not a typical purchase from an Echo, but this front line can just dive at basically the Azir and the AD carries kiting back and take an insane amount of damage.
That's right. Sand Soldiers poking Gorilla.
You don't poke a Gorilla.
No,
it makes them very angry.
That's usually a very dangerous thing to do. We've seen it too. We've seen that. Oh, Duke over the wall here, trying to protect that Disc of the Sun, the Azir turret.
Good timing for the...
Oh, Gorilla. Yep, needs to pop that ultimate. Parallel convergence goes down. Here comes SK Telecom. They may have found their opportunity here. Duke with that W up. No charges. Faker comes in with the Emperor's Divide. Oh, that's a lot of damage from Prey, though. Two-shot barrage misses. Blank having to flash back over the wall, though. SKT backing away. That's right. Prey's not done quite yet. Peanut diving deep. And here comes Kuro from the side. A kill onto Wolf already. And the ROX Tigers win yet another fight, pulling to 7,000 gold ahead, and this right here could be their inhibitor.
Prey's accuracy on his first round of spells, we'll see it in the replay,
Beautiful.
Was insane. Hit all 3 spells onto the 3/4 health Faker, chunked him out. That's what got them the pressure. They continue to dive. Excellent shot calling from ROX Tigers, and we talked about Prey's Ezreal, wondering why we're seeing not really a meta AD. Only Bang was really playing it in the second half of the season. Prey is one of the world's legacy Ezreal players. He is a wonderful Ezreal, and it was on full display.
He's one of the best. And now SKT wondering if they've caught Smeb, but nope, pretty hard to catch that Echo.
Dragon could be taken. My favorite part about that team fight was actually Prey waiting to go over the wall with the Arcane Shift until Peanut got the flank angle on them, and he was sure that there would be a body to block him while he just continued to proc the Iceborne Gauntlet. Just great situational awareness of his teammate.
Ezreal play looks so much more impressive when he's not summoning us at level 1 and watching all his lanes lose.
It certainly helps a little bit, doesn't it?
But I just love the way they played the Ezreal. And remember, they forced the 2v2. That's fine for Ezreal. He only loses out after the first shot. And then after the first shot, comes back in lane. Instant call of the teleport from Smeb. They get the turret, then they swap back to 2v2. They got over any sort of scaling hump with this Ezreal. And now the Ezreal, 4 items in, is a fierce team fighter.
And even at the end of that too, Smeb just using his ultimate to come right back in to help his team push right there. Smeb, we've seen him get some damage down from those ults. We've seen him reposition very well, but a lot of it's just been getting out back on the map and just to help support his team in those pressure situations where you need to take that objective and follow up.
Pretty much. Oh, nearly catching Faker on the end of that parallel convergence.
4-1 is what you requested. 4-1 is what you get.
That's right.
Not taking advantage of the top side at all. It's just going to be this push through the middle. They already have inhibitor down in the mid lane.
Yep, pushing towards the spot lane now. SKT in dire straits here in game number 2. Smep pushing in the mid lane, getting those super minions up to the Nexus turrets. And what can SK Telecom do? I mean, they can't really siege anymore. They have a hard time fighting. They're going to need to make some plays. Smep tries to come in. Speaking of making plays, Gorilla with a big engage. That's going to push SKT back. Duke doesn't hit anyone with the Poppy ultimate. And a lot of damage taken by that inhibitor turret.
Smep will teleport back. Remember, he can either ult back into lane or teleport in. You see the Graves ult using, all it does is cancel the teleport.
Yeah. Will cancel the recall, and that's going to make it take longer for Smep to get back with the teleport.
Yeah, cancel the recall, my apologies.
Or his ultimate. You can use that too.
Has teleport available and home guards, doesn't ult back into lane.
Nope. And he's TPing now. Coming in. There's the inhibitor turret. And SK Telecom just looks like they're lost. They can't stop ROX Tigers right now.
It's definitely better to use the TP in that situation. If you ult back into that lane, you don't have the same angle onto the turret. You can't make that minion invulnerable as you come in. And if for some reason things go wrong on that siege, because it's just about that objective, you need that ultimate to be able to just make sure you get back out.
I mean, Tank Echo's teamfight presence is running at the enemy threats, occupying their time, doing decent base damages, then ulting out. So without the ult, the flexibility of the teamfight was completely gone for ROX Tigers.
Now it's time for the third inhibitor in SK Telecom's base. Mid is gone, bottom is gone.
Super minions pushing in mid.
Smep goes back in. Smep taking a lot of damage, has to back away. Duke ultimate throws Alistar out of the fight. And ROX Tigers going to take that as a cue to take a bit of a breather.
They have 2 inhibs down, a minute and a half till Baron. Play the safe game, just go back, make sure you can set up that 4-1 split again. The mid inhibitor should be coming up soon.
It's a power of Echo we've never really considered, but the fact that he can, again, be the zoning tank, go in the front, get a bit of damage, zone, teleport back into lane, and then have the flexibility to do that again with the ultimate. The sieges just never stop. If you have the double AD and Echo, you can just continue to have a body that can soak forever, and you chip down the turrets just safer than any other tank will be able to do.
Right. Another red buff for Kuro. As the ROX Tigers get back in position to try to close this one out. It's gone certainly a bit longer than game number 1, but it's been pretty clean.
Well, both sides have played well.
That's right.
That's the thing. And really, you have to look at Smep as the reason why the ROX Tigers are winning this game. And just using that teleport play in the early game beautifully to start snowballing, really start to chip away at the turrets.
Well, speaking of Smep, maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Goes back with the ultimate, trying to survive, but bang, picks up the kill anyway. Takes a lot of damage, though. Kuro in an awkward spot. Faker, though, right there, trying to make a play on the Peanut. ROX Tigers, what is going on? Peanut trying to delay with that repel. Nope, Faker with the kill there.
Baron buff
Baron in 3 seconds. Uh-oh, SKT with an opportunity here. Can they get this Baron?
A lot of poke from Prey.
Faker's ult is still up. They have to stay at range.
That's right. They can win this fight going in onto Gorilla now. Gorilla with the ultimate tries to go for that, but Pulverize actually. They knock Prey away.
Oh,
look
no.
at that. Prey with the double kill somehow, some way. And Kuro and Gorilla, they're going to try to turn it around. Duke stuck. Gets knocked up. Get a flash over the wall.
Duke.
And that's another kill for Kuro. How did they do that?
Duke ulted Prey next to Faker.
But the instant
that is not what
Blade
you
of the
wanna
Ruined
do.
King EQ to kill Faker was insane. Once again, it's his Ezreal play.
Yeah.
That's been on point, and you can see Faker, he is angry.
2-shot barrage, not enough to kill Wolf, but that may be enough to end the game. We will see. They could just kill the inhibitor and back away. How safe do the ROX Tigers want to do it? I think they want to close this one out right now.
Smep almost has his TP.
Still, all the wave clear except for Bangers, and he can't walk up. Gorilla's still there.
There goes one Nexus turret. The other Nexus turret taking a lot of damage. Gorilla low, no ult, doesn't matter. There goes the Nexus, and the ROX Tigers will tie this series up.
The first time in the history of the LCK we are not going to see a 3-0, Doa. It's all tied up.
Well, We've seen some pretty tight finals matches, but
Not since the league system
that's
was
true.
introduced.
That is true.
At
Not
the end
since
of 2014. So
that's
for the
true.
first time, it will not be an SK Telecom 3-0.
Wow. So that is the first game that SK Telecom has lost in a finals since like 2014 or something like that. Wow. That's incredible. ROX Tigers playing like we knew they could.
And you
This
can
is
see,
going to be a great series.
You can see why they make plans and make plays around trying to get the Ezreal to work, because when he actually keeps the item timings up, we saw during the season some solo queue play of Prey on Ezreal, like, oh, his Ezreal mechanics are still good.
Right.
They were outstanding this game.
Yeah, really wonderful.
Gonna have to go back and look at that one again to see more Duke.
There he is.
Yep, there's Zadoria. What's his power level, man? Looks like it's about 60,000 right now. That's not bad. 160,000, that's even better. That's even better. And now, guys, we've got a series on our hands. Both teams played really well in game number 2.
Yeah, without that hiccup, we did see much more of the back and forth style of play that we expected throughout this series. SK Telecom, though, scary, nearly coming back on a couple of occasions, and the ROX Tigers perhaps giving up a little more than they should have as they tried to snowball that game.
Well, we came into this one knowing that it was going to probably be a close series, maybe the closest series we've seen in Korea in quite a while. And after this game, I think it's shaping up to be exactly that. This one could go the distance. We could see game 5.
Absolutely. Exciting times. ROX, they stick to their guns.
Yep.
The Ezreal Corki, they